Sweet. I know usually I'd probably like read what it says and stuff, like chapter one and everything, but then I realized that they kind of read it for me, so I guess I wouldn't mention it. So yeah, that opening was really nice. I'm definitely gonna keep it in the video and stuff because I noticed that, like, when I watched Lost Pause and stuff. Because here's the thing, I didn't actually see the opening when I watched Lost Pause's gameplay of it, but I think the main reason why is because obviously then the video would get copyrighted, and I don't know if that video would have probably gotten demonetized, and hence he does get a profit from ad revenues from his videos, so I'm assuming that he didn't include that opening because of that. Like, it could still stay up on YouTube, but he just wouldn't get money out of it, so he had to cut out the opening. Hence, I never really seen the opening when I actually first watched his Let's Play. So I'm gonna definitely keep the opening because, like, as you know, I don't make a profit off these videos. I'm just doing it just as a hobby, just because I love doing it, not for money and stuff. So I'll definitely keep it. The thing why I'm mentioning it, because I'm hoping, I don't know if maybe keeping it either makes it demonetized, like you don't get a profit out of it, or probably gets it deleted from YouTube and then you get a strike. I don't think that would be the case, so I think I'll just keep it up and see what happens. And if it does get a strike, then I'll probably just move it to, to BitChute or something, like, while still keeping the opening. I mean, I'm pretty sure keeping it is okay. It's just, it would just get copyrighted and hence demonetized. But, like, I think it'll be alright. So that's what I'm saying. So I hope that doesn't happen. But I mean, if it does happen, then I guess that's the reason why. But I'm going to keep the opening in there, So yeah, that's what's going to happen. Alright. Can't sleep. I was wide awake as the dawn drew near. There was no comparing the bed I was in to the worn-out mattress from my cheap old apartment. Even so, I couldn't sleep a wink. I still can hardly believe it, though. I had been living in this room for several days now, but I still felt like I was living in a dream. I was in a dorm in Vincennes Private Girls Academy, the Thousand Leaves dormitory. It was a complete woman's paradise, with the teachers and staff all female. I stuck out like a sore thumb. So yeah, he enrolled in an private all-girls Christian school, basically. So it's kind of awkward that his entire life now revolves around just interacting with only females, and there's no males, like, whatsoever, Why had they let me stay there, then? There was a reason for that, of course. I actually do know the reason, but I'm not gonna say it just yet. You guys will find out. So, without even thinking about it, the events of that night came flooding back to me. The night we met. Risa-san's words.
運命的なランデブーよね。
Ah, that's why the chapter's called, a rendezvous in that. So that makes sense. Her smile as she said them. We looked at the schedule and found that the last bus had left much earlier, so we began walking instead. We were heading towards Vincennes Girls Academy. It was a 30-minute trip by bus, so it was no easy walk, and it was in the mountains, so the trek was mostly uphill. Even so, I was filled with such a curious sense of exhilaration. The task didn't feel tiring at all. It became colder as night passed on, but even that was strangely pleasant in its way.
そういえば、歩き詰めで大丈夫かしら？夕べからずっと外にいるんでしょ？
I'm fine. Are you okay, Risa-san?
私も平気。それに、こうして人気のない道を歩くのってなんだか楽しいわよね。
Her smile was dazzling. I couldn't take my eyes off of her. Walking side by side with her like this, I couldn't shake the thought that fate had played a role in our meeting.
そうね。まずは私の目的からお話しするわ。私が夜な夜な外を徘徊していた理由。それは、これはという男子を見つけるためだったの。
That's an interesting way to put it, I have to admit. But of course, it's not for that reason. It's for another specific reason. The right type of man?
マサヤさんのような、ね。 ただそんな男子どこでどうやって見つければいいか分かったものではないでしょ。それであてもなく歩き回っていたんだけど、そんなの効率が悪いに決まっているわよね。しかも条件は極めて厳しいわ。人柄は前提として今年から入学できる人でなければいけないんですもの。正直言って私としてもそんな人がそうそういるとは思えなかった。今回ばっかりは私もダメかと思ったわ。今日なんかガルディエンヌにも追われてしまうし。
The Guardian? The Guardian? I think it's called Guardian or something? That's a weird word, I have to admit. Is this supposed to be like I don't think so. I was gonna say, is it like guardian or something, but like a female term? I mean, I doubt it, because guardian can mean both male and female, so I don't know, that's a new type of word I've ever seen, you know?
さっきの4人組のこと、あの人たち実は学校の守衛さんなのよ。
Yeah, I had a feeling it was the police security. Well, not police, the security. The police is different than, like, say, I'd say school security, yeah. Oh. That explained why they spoke so politely, right up until they thought I was a molester. But why was school security after you?
私が不良だから。要するに校則に反して学校の外に出ていたから。春休みが始まる前は学校側にも認められていたんですけれどね。
The school did?
けれど学校側が設けた期限は3学期いっぱいだった。だから今は校則違反ということになってしまったの。最初はバレなかったんですけれどね。今日とうとう見つかってしまって、それであんなシーンを演じていたというわけ。ほんと疲れたわよ。バスに乗ろうとしたらやってくるんですもの。いきなりマラソンが始まってしまったわ。
Jeez, she actually ran all the way that fast, and, you know, yet she's still in shape, I would say, because I myself can't run, like, really, really far. And I should know, I've done, like, gym and stuff at high school, and usually when we do a little minor, like, track or run, you know, I always never, like, run that fast. I just run for a little bit, and then I just walk, you know, so even I myself can't do it. Of course, that's comparing someone like her having an adrenaline rush, whereas, like, it's me, I'm just doing it just because, but I don't know. Maybe if I was having an adrenaline rush, I could probably run as fast as, like, what she's gone through. I don't know. A marathon? You ran all the way from school to the station? That's amazing.
私も必死だったから。バレたということはもう活動ができなくなることを意味するわ。であれば計画はそこで頓挫する。私は諦めたくなかったの。とにかく最後の最後までは。
The school approved at first, which means your plan has some connection to the school, right? She nodded. So what is your plan?
学校の変革。
Reforming the school?
バンセンヌが女子校ということはマサヤさんもご存知ね。実は今共学にするという話が持ち上がっているの。
Co-educational? I was shocked. That would be a huge change even for a normal school, and Vincennes was a school with such a long history.
なぜそんな話になったかというと、生徒数が減ってしまったから。けど男子を入れれば単純計算で倍になるわね。私の祖母が理事長だから個人的にも聞くことがあるのだけど、経営が厳しいらしいのよ。端的に言ってバンセンヌは経営難なの。
Financial problems? Well, the threshold does seem high.
敷居？
There's a high entrance fee, right? That limits you to the people who can afford to go.
ええ、そういうことらしいの。校舎も建て替えて財務も悪化している。とにかく従来のやり方ではいずれ立ち行かなくなるということははっきりしているらしいの。はっきりしているのになお変えられないというのはきっと 伝統校としてのプライドのせいなんでしょうね。
Yeah, I can imagine.
理事会は紛糾を続けた。もちろん理事はみんな心情としてはバンセーヌの伝統を守りたいわ。でも厳しい現実というものがある。もしもバンセーヌが将来消えるようなことになったらそれは最悪だもの。学校の変革はいわば事前の策よね。原理主義者はそんなもの許せないけれど現実路線を取ろうという人も当然いる。それで実に数年も揉めていたのだけど、とうとうある日理事長が裁断を下したの。それは見学の精神に立ち返るというもの。理事長は席上こう言ったそうだわ。理事会の対立は数年に及び、もはやこの場において結論を見出すことは不可能なようです。そこでこの問題は生徒自身の手に委ねることにしましょうと。
Leave it to the students?
バンセンヌの見学の精神、それは自主、独立、自尊。
In other words, make decisions yourselves.
もともとミッションが設立した学校だから、そういうフロンティア精神は尊ばれているの。
A mission? You mean like special ops?
作戦？いえ、この場合は宣教団ということ。バンセンヌってキリスト教系だから。
There you go. Oh.
もうとっくにミッションの手から離れているけどね。それはともかく、理事長の裁断が正式に承認されて早速具体案が検討されたの。
You know, that's kind of interesting how they would like make a Christian school in Japan, even though Christianity is not every Japan like Christianity is kind of not as subscribed to in Japan compared to, you know, all other countries and stuff. So it's kind of interesting that they would make the plot or setting centered around like a Christian school in Japan. And like, although to be fair, I don't know if everyone in that school has to be a Christian. At the very least, it's just a private girls' school, but maybe educates in Christian theology. I don't know. I just thought it's kind of interesting and stuff, you know?
見学の精神は結構ですけれど、いきなり共学の是非を生徒に問われても困惑するしかないでしょ。
Yeah, I guess that's true.
だいたい前期からの生徒ともなると、男性というと父親や兄弟しか見たことがないなんて人もザラだわ。
That's amazing. Yeah, so they're all sheltered. They had never seen a man before. Boyfriends would be totally out of the question.
それでは判断しようもないでしょ。そこで期間限定、規模も限定、要するにお試しみたいな形の共学を始めることにしたの。
I see. I was starting to get the picture.
ただそうは決めたものの、理事でもある校長先生が強硬な反対派で、そのために計画は骨抜きにされてしまったわ。
She watered it down?
だって学校でそうと決めたなら正式に募集をかけるのが当然でしょ。でもそれはしないというのだから。
If there's no formal application, how could boys get in?
それが私がしていたことというわけ。
Ah, so you were like the scout, Rise-san. So that's what she meant by the right type of man.
そう、それで相手に話が早く通じるようわざわざ制服を着たりしてね。でも校長ったらひどいのよ。なんて言ったと思う？そこまで生徒に任せるなら男子も生徒が見つければいいですって。あんまりだわ。でも押し切られてしまった以上仕方がないわ。みんなひるんでしまった中、私は真っ先に手を挙げたの。なぜって私は改革派だから。
Risa-san, you want the school to integrate?
ええ、私はバンセンヌを愛しているわ。だから 卒業した後もずっと残っていてほしい。
I see. There was an old saying, eagles don't catch flies. It was certainly a noble sentiment, but to adhere to that even in continued decline was a different matter entirely. A painful reform or a slow death, Risa-san had chosen the former.
校門が見えてきたわ。
Ah, finally. Since we had been talking the whole way, the long trip seemed to pass in no time.
今言った通り、学校に通える期間は限定なの。もちろん共学という結論になれば引き続き卒業まで通えるけれど、それでもいいかしら。
By limited, how long do you mean?
その1年なの。年度末にグランデボート総選挙があって、その時に決まるから。
1 year? It really was short. I still had 2 years of school before graduation. But that was only if the school voted against integration. There was still hope. But more importantly, if I refused, I would have to say goodbye to Risa-sen now. I would leave Surigagawa behind, go to live with my mother, and probably never see her again. I couldn't stand that thought. I wasn't going to let it end here. Overwhelmed by that feeling, I nodded. Okay, I accept those terms.
本当にいいの？
Yeah, it's still better than my current situation. I wasn't even exaggerating.
ありがとう。私本当に嬉しいわ。
She placed a hand on her chest and let out a deep sigh. Then she looked up at me, her eyes appeared dewy in the moonlight. Aww. I couldn't believe that my decision had made someone this happy. That realization sent a new surge of happiness welling up inside of me.
なぜかしら。
Hmm?
やっぱり助けてもらったからかな。私、あなたを見た瞬間からこの人しかいないって思っていて、本当よかった。
Oh, it's... I decided not to mention my vague feeling of deja vu and instead brought up another subject. But are you sure you won't get any trouble from the goons? I don't think those guys are gonna give up until they get what I owe them.
まあ大丈夫でしょう。バンセンヌは結構セキュリティはしっかりしているわ。何しろ女性しかいないことだし。それにガルディエーノを味方にすれば頼りになるから、あんな二人組きっとなんてことはないでしょう。
Sorry, I was just reading. I see, I'm glad to hear that.
じゃ、行きましょう。こんな嬉しい気持ちで帰ってこられるなんて。ガルディエーヌに追われた時は夢にも思わなかったわ。
When we arrived at the gate, a different guardian appeared. Risa-san explained the situation and they let us pass without issue. Wow, the cherry trees are beautiful. And so they just so she comes out and then comes back with a guy in the middle of the night and they just let her in. I don't know, I just feel like that's so, you know... I mean good that it happened, but you get what I'm saying, you know?
ええ、本当に。
If this were a public park, it would surely have people coming from all over for night viewings of the trees. That's how beautiful they were.
この桜はね、バンセンヌの名物の一つなの。4月になると緊張でいっぱいの新入生をここで出迎えてくれるんだわ。
Wow.
マサヤさんも言ってみれば新入生よね。
The flowers in full bloom did seem like they were here to meet me. I had spent the entire year running away from people. But now there was a place that wanted me. That made me so happy. Risa-san walked around to stand in front of me and held out her right hand.
今夜はあなたと出会えて本当によかった。
And it wasn't just a place. Right now, right in front of me, there was a person who wanted me to be here. I gritted my teeth to keep from trembling with joy and reached out to take her hand.
万線路へようこそ。
This game is so goddamn wholesome. I love it.